Alright, we took this out of the refrigerator. It's cooled down a little bit, enough to work with. The piece I'm going to cut here today for the demo is going to be this piece, which is number 6 on our templates that we cut last week. I'm going to take half of this out of the bowl, take a little flour. If it's too dry, it tends to fleck and fall apart, and it doesn't make a good solid piece. This is a good solid piece. We're going to put it on a piece of parchment paper. This is just baking parchment paper. This is cut to the size of my pan. Very important. Use flat sheet pans. If you have undulating sheet pans, you're going to have undulating walls and undulating ceilings, and nothing's going to look right. You need to roll this out on the paper because you're going to have to transfer it onto the sheet pan. Not too much flour. You're not going to really need much flour. This is not sticky. It's just stiff. It's a very stiff dough. A lot of the books I read talk about making cookies from what's left here. Don't make cookies from what's left here. They're like concrete. All right, this is about what we want. We wanted about 1/8 of an inch. And we're one piece. I would want to match one and put one here and there and get as much as you can out of the thing. And this is all we're going to do today, so that's all I really need. At this point, transfer it onto the sheet pan. Off any flour you have. I don't have any flour here, so we're going to be pretty good. All right, see where this fits on here? You may have cracks or that you don't want in the pieces. I have a little crack here, but in this, essentially, it's a really nice piece. So we're just going to fit this where it fits good, and we're just going to leave it like this. You want to cut this with either a pizza cutter or your knife. If you don't have a pizza cutter, use your knife, but you have to do it a separate way. If you cut this with a knife, you need to just push it down like this. Okay? If you start dragging, your pieces start coming out. They come out of whack. They come out wrong, or they bent, or they're still. You're not dragging this. You're just cutting. If you don't have a pizza cutter, so let's do it with a knife here. We're going to line this. We got this straight. Okay, like that. Just lay it down. Most books tell you not to reuse this because the gluten isn't set right. But if you're just using it for like something little, like a little gingerbread, like a little piece on a porch or a little, this works fine. All right, here we have it. At this point, you have to cut the windows out or the whatever else you have. I'm going to use this knife because I don't have anything small enough to do this. But again, you're not dragging it. You're just sort of pressing it down. Go all the way into the corners to make sure you're not dragging it. And then pull it out. And that's it. The next thing to do is to label this. And I mean that by labeling the paper. This in my building is piece number 6. So we want to write number 6 on the bottom. And this is the top. So that when you have this all spread out, you don't have to start thinking, what the heck piece am I looking at? Because maybe 2 or 3 of them look sort of the same. The roofs are a little bit funny. This is what you need to do. I take metal forks. I have a convection oven, which tends to blow this little paper all over the place. I'm going to put the little forks on the corner, and what that does is keep the corners down from blowing up on top of it. All right, but we're going to put this in the oven, 350 this will take about 12 minutes. I'm going to pull it out at about 7 to look and see if I have bubbles. Then 7 minutes, and we're going to come look at my oven here. All right, we got a couple of little spots up a little high. We just pop the things, and what I use is a pie spatula and just sort of smooth it out. I'm going to turn it around. We'll put it in here for another, let's say 4 minutes. All right, 4 minutes later. This is 11 minutes in here. It's got a nice bit of color. At this point, you can make changes. If you find that your windows swelled a little bit, and you don't really, you can still sort of cut it down a little bit and square it. At this point, you have about 2 minutes to do this before this becomes undoable. I'm happy with this window, but I'm just showing you what goes on here. Square off if something bulged a little bit, but for the most part, I'm very happy with this. So we're just going to let this cool down, and now we need to do 34 more pieces, and we'll be ready to go. That's it. Thank you.